My name is Elise Gornish, and I'm a postdoc with Jeremy James at UC Davis. And here we are at SFREC, and we've got an experiment going on here looking at the demography of Medusahead. So Medusahead is this super aggressive annual invasive grass from the Mediterranean. It's invaded about 17 US states. It's listed as a Class C weed in California, so that means it's so aggressive that California didn't even spend money to try to control it. And a lot of people have been attempting to control Medusahead with various methods, burning and targeted grazing, clipping, mowing, and herbicide. And despite all the money and effort going into controlling Medusahead, control efforts have not been particularly successful. And so what we're testing here is, first we're just looking at the life cycle and following the life cycle of individuals of Medusahead so we can have a better understanding of the demography of Medusahead. We've seeded Medusahead out in 5 different seed densities, from 100 seeds per plot to 50,000 seeds per plot. And so we're also looking at density dependence within Medusahead. We have a clipping treatment where we've clipped half of the plots when about 75% of the individuals are in the boot. So that's when Medusahead is most vulnerable to the effects of control. That's when most people graze or clip. And what we're actually looking is to see if there's some kind of compensatory response of Medusahead once we've done the clipping. So if you clip a plot and you clip maybe 75% of the individuals, do the 25% of the individuals that you haven't hit, do they have some kind of compensatory response, making larger seed heads, more seed head production, things like that. And is this what is causing a sort of the limitation of control efforts on Medusahead? So we're in our first year, and we're also looking at Medusahead demography both in these open grassland habitats and in these covered, more shaded oak woodland habitats. So a lot of people have noticed that Medusahead doesn't grow as well in these oak woodland habitats, but nobody's actually quantified sort of the effect of the presence of oaks to Medusahead. So that's something else we're looking at. So some of the preliminary results show that Medusahead does, in fact, is controlled by density dependence. So germination, emergence, and survival of seedlings all decreases with seed input. We're also finding that Medusahead doesn't do as well as expected in the oak woodland habitat. So emergence and survival are severely restricted in the oak habitat. Interestingly enough, the neighbors that we actually seeded into the plots, so these desired neighbors, some clover and some grasses, don't do as well in the oak woodland habitat as well, but they do relatively better than Medusahead in the oak habitat. And finally, in response to our clipping treatment, what we're finding is that plots that receive the clipping treatment actually have an increase in the number of individuals that bolt after the clipping event compared to the plots that didn't receive a clipping treatment. So overall, we're finding that seed production is actually pretty similar across plots that received the clipping treatment and those that didn't. And so that suggests that there is this compensatory response. And so what that also suggests, sort of in an applied sense, is that to have a more successful control of Medusahead, maybe you want to have 2 clipping treatments that are distant in time.